Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Those Foreign Guys.
I wonder if they can hear that sound I just made.
Are you good, dogger?
The ultimate dad sound.
You had a fun night last night,
I'm fucking hungover as shit.
and the best way to cure that
It's with a beer.
is with another beer.
You can't get a hangover when you're
I'm
still
not an
drunk.
alcoholic.
I noticed you changed your shirt this time.
No, it's a different one.
Yeah, it's a different one. I don't know if you've noticed the last 3 podcasts you wore the same shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No,
I've been wearing the same pants every time.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It's just that washing cycle always just hits.
Yeah.
I've just been watching, like, when I edit the podcast, I'm just like, wait a minute. Is this the right episode? I'm like, I have to look at Brandon's shirt to be like, okay, this is the other episode. Like,
It's
right.
a different band this time.
Yep.
Who was
And
the
look who's
typical?
back.
Hey,
Welcome
hello.
back. We missed you.
Yeah, me too.
We
Some
got
of
so
us
many
missed you more.
DMs. They were like, it's just not the same without him. We need
Oh,
him
really?
back.
All our viewers are
All
like,
of
where
them.
is Brian?
Oh shit, all 5 of them.
Yeah.
That's why I can't wait to hang out with you again, Bryant.
Okay.
Like tonight.
Shit, I can't tonight. I got work. Well, can I?
Oh yeah, you can. You can hang out for one beer.
I mean, we could. Hey, what's one beer between friends, you know?
You know it's never one beer.
What's 2 beers? Okay,
That's
it's
what
2
my
beers.
girlfriend said today. She was like,
Where's my...
don't go. Like, there's no one beer
here
with
it
you. What do you mean? Sometimes. It's one.
I can never just do one. I always say I'll do one, and then I'm like, yeah, okay,
It's the biggest lie in the universe.
maybe a few more. So where were you?
I was on vacation. I went to the motherland for a little bit. I went to Shanghai for 1 day, and then I went to Singapore for another 5 or so.
What were you doing? Just hanging around?
Yeah, Singapore, I went to see my older brother and his family, my sister-in-law, my nieces. Very, very chill. Very nice, actually. Much needed.
Not your first time there, right?
No, second time.
How was it compared to the first time you went?
Just as good, to be honest. I mean,
Did you eat a lot of, what was it, chicken?
fuck yeah,
rice?
dude. Every day, chicken rice. Every day. I was actually on a mission, like, which one is the best?
Did you find the best one?
That did look good, though.
Out of the ones that I had, I mean, I can't say, like, the best, but I had, like, chicken rice maybe 6 different places.
Wow.
5 days,
In 5
6 different
days.
places. This guy.
I mean,
Truly
the
a man
last
on
one
a
is
mission.
the airport.
Oh, yeah.
Airport was
To
all right.
be fair, that's
Not
like
the best.
when I went to America, I ate like a hamburger every day.
I mean, that's
It's different
you know,
places, right?
That's
Yeah.
the traditional food of
That's-
America.
that's
what
You're
you
have
just,
to
you know,
do.
diving in.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of that the other day. Like, what is like an American food? And the only thing I can think of is like hamburgers and like chicken,
Hamburgers,
and
hot
chicken
dogs.
tenders.
And like I would say like barbecue,
Yeah, barbecue.
Hot
like
dogs.
brisket.
Oh yeah,
Right.
true.
Only hot dogs.
Only hot dogs.
Only hot dogs. I mean,
So-
there's a crazy
Nah,
thing.
nah,
Like,
nah.
every state has a hot dog. It's so weird.
They don't compare to Icelandic hot dogs. So.
No, I'm not saying it's good. Don't get me. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that's their food.
Have you ever had a kimchi hot dog?
A kimchi hot dog?
Yeah,
I have.
shit is fire.
It's good.
It's
I
really
haven't had
good.
that, but I've heard about them.
So good.
I've heard about kimchi fries too. My brother says he has those a lot.
I haven't had that, but I would,
fries?
I would
Kimchi
definitely
fries.
do that.
It's like chili, like instead of like chili cheese fries, it's like kimchi fries.
Oh wait,
That
I
sounds
might have
good.
tried that.
It does.
I gotta think about it.
Like, because my brother lives in Austin, Texas, and that place has a lot of like food truck culture. There's a lot of places you can go that just have food trucks everywhere. And so he said that there's a few like there's like one that's like a Korean Mexican food truck, and they have kimchi
Oh,
fries.
we have one
saw
of those
that.
in Iceland too.
I saw that in LA as well, in Koreatown.
Yeah.
I always love the idea of just mixing cultures with food trucks. So back home in South Africa, there's this. It's not a food truck, but it's the same sort of vibe and setup. Different small restaurants and things. But there's this one place where it's like Korean chicken. And then they have Japanese writing and a Chinese flag. And I'm like, oh,
Wait,
Wait, that's
hold on, wait a minute.
I remember my first time I went back to America after I had been living in Korea for I think like 6 months. I went home for Christmas, and my family, like, no one really cooks in my family. So especially because my parents are divorced, like me, my dad, and my brother for our Christmas, we would just always go out and have like Japanese food. We go like the place where they like cook on the table in front of you and everything.
Hibachi.
Yeah, hibachi. And so we just do that every like Christmas Eve. And the Christmas Eve that I went home, there was like this Asian waitress, and there's another guy, because you sit at the table with the other people as well. And there's a guy who's clearly U.S. military, like he has his dog tags around his neck. He's a big buff guy, and this waiter who's Asian comes up and like is trying to take his order, and he just says, he goes, looks at her, and goes, "Ni hao," and she goes, "Huh?" And he goes, Ni hao. And she's like, what? It's like, hello in Chinese. And she goes, I'm Korean.
And it was even a Japanese.
And it was in a Japanese place.
Oh, so good, so good.
So I'm just thinking of this, like, this guy came into a Japanese restaurant, saw a Korean waitress, and spoke Chinese to her.
That's kind of an interesting thing too, because like in the U.S., if you meet an Asian person, like sometimes I get a little bit curious and I want to know what like ethnically. Because
What kind
like,
they are?
Yeah, because I mean I don't want to say it that
Say
way.
it that way, yeah. That's it, white boy.
But like it's mostly because I'm interested in like because I've been in China, Korea, and Japan. Like I maybe I want to ask them something, right? But they get so offended by that question. It's like I'm American, and it's like I know I can tell.
That's like, don't ask where they're from. Just
I
ask
don't. I don't.
What's your ethnicity?
Yeah, I do, but they're still like I'm American.
I
It's
mean,
like,
because there's so much racism and xenophobia
get
in
that,
the US.
yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
you know, for you it's just curiosity. For them it's like, not this
Just
shit
the
again.
10th time it's
Not
happened
this shit
week.
again.
Yeah.
yeah,
Them
but I
said
mean, dude,
ni hao
I've-
too many times.
I've dealt with that shit too a lot. Like in China, they'd be like, "Where you from?"
From
and
here.
I'd be like, "I'm American," and then they're like, "Why aren't you white?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
I've had similar questions of why are you not darker, and then someone going like, wait, I thought South Africans were white. Because so many white South African teachers come here, and that's the only experience. And I'm like, what are those people teaching you? It's like, what?
I mean,
On a side note, it was
same.
really funny. Brandon came out with me in my English study group the other night, and I didn't even know this because one of my friends said, like, oh, where's he from? And I was like, oh, he's from South Africa. And he goes, oh, I'm a West Africa major. That's my major. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But in my head, I just wanted to, like, what is West Africa major? Like, what does that mean?
Don't worry, I was stared, and I have no idea
I'm
what
about to say,
it
could
means.
you explain
Like,
this to me?
no,
'Cause
I
I
have
have
no
I also
idea.
pretend to be like this world knowledge kind of guy, but what the fuck is
No,
that?
I was gonna ask him, you know, is he studying the sort of civil war in Congo? But even then, how is that a major?
My
You know,
guess is it's probably like a political science type of thing.
I
like
think it might
focused
be
on
focused on
African
West Africa.
region.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
because Congo is very similar to Korea in many ways.
Yeah.
They are a country split into two, still at war. They have a violent war, unlike the Korean one at the moment, where people just stare at each other.
Blasting K-pop music at the other side.
Plus K-pop music. This is what we have.
That is like when I heard about that was like one of the most interesting things for maybe our listeners who don't know this. Like at the DMZ, the border between North Korea and South Korea, it's like a very well known thing that North Korea will just blast propaganda over loudspeakers towards South Korea, like guards on their station. So South Korea, in response, just blasts K-pop music at them, at the guards on the other side. I'm just imagining a North Korean soldier over there being like, super shy, super shy.
Then immediately when he sees, he just gets executed. That went dark.
have any of you guys been to the DMZ?
No.
Yeah.
How was it?
I don't want to go. I'm scared I turn into Private James King and decide to take a job. You know,
You're gonna
when the intrusive thoughts just kick in, you know? That's one of those things where there's no coming back from that one.
Yeah, I went there. It was cool because like obviously in Iceland we didn't even have a military, so it's like I've never seen that kind of stuff. So
Wait, Iceland doesn't have a military?
Who are they fighting?
who are we fighting? And who's gonna be in the military? We're like fucking 300,000. It's like that one guy.
Didn't know that.
We're protected by this guy.
My homie. I got your back.
I think they used to like have a station in Iceland, but then we kind of kicked them out. But if something happens, please come back.
So you're pretty similar to Korea then.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But they allow you to stay here.
True. They no, I never went to the DMZ. I wanted to go. It was like on my list of things to do when I came here, and I had like a whole itinerary schedule. I bought tickets, made the plan to go, and then I went out clubbing the night before because I was like,
I was about
Korea!
to make a joke and say, and then some girl messaged you, but yeah, that's the close.
It wasn't
thing.
even that. I just went out on the pub crawl and like because I was thinking, yeah, everything's gonna close at 2 a.m. I'll be home by 3, and then first time in Korea, learned that is not the
shit
case.
does not close at 2 a.m.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, well, looks like I'm staying up all night and not going to the DMZ
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I would not recommend going there hungover because if you go into like you can go into like the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have and you don't want to be hungover. You climb down this fucking thing. Yeah.
Did
I
you get to go
actually
into
wanna
like the
go.
little blue room in the middle?
Yeah. I took a picture with like the guy. He just stands there.
North Korean guard?
That's
Or South
I think it's a South Korean guy. I think maybe.
But they're kind of similar to like the Buckingham Palace people, where like they just have to be like expressionless and.
Oh
not
wait, I
move.
think that guy was North Korean. Now that I think about it. Maybe I don't know.
Those foreign guys go to DMZ.
Did you do the thing where you were like, North Korea? Now I'm in South Korea. Now I'm in North Korea. Now I'm in South Korea.
Yeah, I did like. There's a table in the middle you can stand, and like if you stand like this, you're like 1 foot in North Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it.
Can you like go all together to the other side?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I took a picture like with the guy, so technically I was in North Korea.
In that one, there's like one little blue house thing that's like half of it's on the North Korean side, half it's on the South
I'm
Korean
not
side.
doing that.
No, I can't.
I'm not.
I'm gonna do something like, and knowing our luck, we go, and that's the day they invade. Now I'm right there. on
My
the front
mind did like
lines.
because I just stood next to the guy, and, like took a picture, but I really wanted to touch him.
I don't think you're allowed to touch
No,
it.
I know.
Yeah.
That's like you said,
you're like,
intrusive thoughts. I was like, oh.
just
Yeah.
to see.
It's the same in England. Have you seen when people like fuck around with those guards?
Yeah, it's like
They get pissed.
piss off.
Yeah.
Step away from the Queen's Guard.
Oh well, kings now, I guess.
Sure, yeah. So I saw something about this on Reddit the other day, and I guess it wasn't I thought it was going to be a recent thing, but did you know there's been 6 U.S. military defections to North Korea by
Yes.
American soldiers?
And did you know they
I thought
become?
it was the first one.
Did you know they become movie stars?
Oh, I've heard that. Yeah, they become like kind of
Yeah, they become
propaganda
machines.
So that guy is probably living the high life. That
I
defected
spoke to my
recently.
students about it because Private James King is the first black dude to do it.
Oh.
So it's like, you know, we sort of had debates on, do you think you'd get treated differently?
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
how far does racism extend? And one of my students said something really interesting. She said, this is like the ultimate time where North Korea can turn him into a movie star too and say, look, we're not racist like America. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
The
Just imagine.
propaganda. I was like,
I might
this
even
is-
defect.
That's, yeah, that's a
That's
big
some
brain
strong
propaganda. I was
propaganda.
like, damn.
I'm just looking at this list, and the very first person, his name is Clarence Adams, and he's a soldier from Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh.
Hey, that's almost
Look
where
at
you're
that.
from.
African American as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
didn't say this.
He cited racial discrimination in the United States as the reason he refused repatriation. Repatriation.
Damn, that's
yeah.
our word. I'm not even gonna attempt it.
Yeah, it was hard. I was like, I don't know what this word is, but thank you. Appreciate that.
With
Nice,
Tennessee
nice.
so bad, he went north.
Yeah, that's crazy, actually. That's actually crazy. No, it was fun.
Okay, so
We had a good time.
So, any news this
any
week,
news except for Mr. Defector?
or more of the jamboree shenanigans?
Most of it, yeah, I think a lot of it has
There
just
was
been
still
jamboree,
more
jamboree.
shit happening. I
Yeah.
saw. Like it just doesn't stop.
I saw some picture because what's their name? The K-pop band.
New Jeans.
New Jeans. There was like pictures of them like rehearsing for the jamboree kind of
Yeah.
thing, but they looked so depressed. We were being like forced to do this shitty ass concert
Yeah.
because the government fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, an update from last week from the Jamboree. The government has decided that the best way to solve the problem is by hosting a K-pop concert for all the
Always.
And like
for all the heat-ridden.
I don't
people.
remember if we talked about it last week, but the people are not here for K-pop. They're
Yeah.
here to meet other scouts
Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
scout shit.
I mean, they're still having a good time. free
I'm still,
concert.
like-
but yeah, not the aim.
Imagine like staying in the mud and in like a shitty ass tent, not having a shower for 3 weeks. But hey, at least we can see New Jeans, right?
To be fair, I think I saw someone did like a poll or something, and most of the participants did say that they were still having fun, that they were still enjoying the Jamboree.
I mean, we did talk about like, isn't this why you were in the scouts to like
Tough it out.
combat?
I also I've been using that same line as a sort of, you know, debate tactic to play devil's advocate. Isn't that the idea of scouts? Now we've got the best. And, you know, the thing with Jamboree specifically, though, is it's not that type of scouts. You know, they didn't sign up for that. So I was like, you know, fair enough, right? It's an established world organization and event. They're coming to just meet people and have a good time. So I was like, you know what? Fair.
Yeah, other than Jamboree though, I was looking. I didn't see anything of notable
has just
news
been a
this week.
dead week. I mean, news on the hurricane.
Yeah, but say we had a hurricane.
The typhoon.
No,
whatever,
typhoon.
Sorry, yeah,
It
no.
was just
No, it's not the same thing.
it was just a strong wind.
Yeah, no. It's funny because like
It's really
some
nice.
No,
people were
typhoon and
saying,
hurricane, they're the same thing.
No,
No.
they're not.
They're not. Hurricane is a step above a typhoon.
I think it also
What am
depends
I
on the
thinking then?
waters where they are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, hurricanes is when it's in the Pacific Ocean,
No.
and then it's
in the Atlantic.
Atlantic Ocean, and then it's a
really?
cyclone when it's
Typhoon.
cyclone. That's what I'm
cyclones
thinking.
stay in the ocean. They don't leave. They don't make land.
Then then it's typhoon. Then typhoon is just a hurricane. They just call it different because it's in a different ocean.
What?
The more
I'm
you
like
know.
99% sure on this. We don't have a
I don't
producer.
trust you, Hunter. You don't know shit.
Hurricanes.
Hey Siri, are typhoons and
No.
hurricanes the same? Oh yeah. The words hurricane and typhoon are simply different names for tropical cyclones.
Knowledge bomb
Look
from
at
the
this.
American.
I mean, my country has zero natural disasters, so I know nothing about natural disasters.
We got earthquakes and volcanoes.
Same.
I think my country had we had an earthquake like once 2 months ago or something like that, but people were just sleeping. It didn't even register. So
Yeah. But the funny thing is, like the typhoon here, people are like panicking about it.
Yeah.
But it is just a strong wind in Iceland, actually.
Yeah.
Like the level of,
I think it's because like
but like the infrastructure is not ready for
One
it.
is because
also.
we're in Seoul. We're on the other side of the coast.
yeah,
And
by
two,
the
it
time
just,
it,
it just
gets
didn't
here,
reach us. Yeah.
Yeah,
It just
by the-
didn't even reach Korea
it,
that
it
bad.
loses power because it was going straight through land. But also, I think one of the reasons why people get really nervous about it is because you can't really tell how bad it's gonna be every
It
time.
might also just suddenly switch.
Yeah, sometimes people are like, they say like, oh, it's gonna be a strong one, and then it's not. Sometimes people say like, oh, it's not gonna be that bad, and then it actually is. So I think that's why it's like just people are trying to prevent things from happening.
I saw still there was
A
like
little
a
cautious.
house in Daegu maybe that like the roof just got ripped off.
there were a good couple of pictures in Busan, Changwon, sort of the cities right on the coastline where they just got fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, there was so much flooding in many areas.
yeah.
Cars were just submerged.
Yeah,
so
Yeah, I
they
know.
would
Yeah.
get it first, like when it's still full power.
I think the rain is the worst part of it.
that is the worst part. Oh,
I mean,
Dude.
for us, the rain is the worst.
oh yeah.
For me,
If you're
like,
getting hit
from
by it,
where I
'cause-
was, it was nice. All the weather was nice. It was just raining a little bit. It felt so good. It's a nice break from the summer for me.
Hey, fuck this summer. It's too fucking hot.
Luckily, the rain cooled it down a little bit.
Mhm.
Today's been nice.
Today's nice.
Today's been
This whole week,
I mean, it's
I
not
think, has
super
been
hot,
pretty nice.
but it's not normal.
Just, I hope this is over soon.
I've been indoors all day. I
Let's
have no
get in
idea
there.
about the weather.
Just been laying under the air conditioner.
Oh yeah, just lie there. I lie under the aircon on like full blast, but I have a blanket over me.
I do the same.
Me too.
But hey, we have hopefully the weather holds up because we have a day off on Tuesday.
Yeah, I have a day off tomorrow too.
What is it? Like
You guys-
Gwangbokchol? Right?
What day is it? What
Independence
was
Day.
it? Was
Liberation
it this
Day.
time?
Liberation
Oh, yeah,
Day.
right.
Yeah,
Oppenheimer Day.
Oppenheimer
Oppenheimer
Day.
Day.
Yeah,
Oh my
I'm so
God.
excited.
I already.
Did you
watched
get
it.
You already watched it? Oh,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Did you watch it on like one of those free sites? How did you go to the movie?
I went in Singapore.
Yeah, it's already out in Singapore.
I went,
of course you went to
IMAX.
Singapore. I forgot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I'm so excited to go see it.
Did you get a ticket?
No, but there's still a lot. I looked yesterday, and there's
Oh,
still
yeah?
like 200 tickets for each place. So if any guys want to go,
I booked it next week, I think.
you already booked it.
I do want to go.
I thought
Invite
like
me.
I wanted to do like the whole IMAX probably experience
Yeah.
thing, kind of. So I like, booked it early, but apparently there's tickets.
Yeah, there's
so-
still a lot of tickets that I've seen at least.
I
I'll
don't
get
think
back to you on that.
it's-
Okay.
I don't think it's like super necessary for IMAX
Oh, yeah?
to be honest. But if you're gonna do it, do it.
Hey, the way, what's his name? Christopher Nolan
Christopher Nolan.
intended.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Right.
seeing a lot of memes about that, like people watching it on like. Have you seen on TikTok? They have this like show movies sometimes on TikTok.
Yeah.
They have like shitty ass clips. It's like that's the way he intended.
No, yeah, that is kind of part of it because like if you watch like Tenet or like Inception, the music like drowns out some of the like dialogue audio just because of the way that it's mixed down to like for streaming services and stuff like that. If you don't watch it with like that special audio system, then it is gonna not sound the way
Subtitles, baby, all
that's
the way.
intended.
Always.
Do you guys use subtitles on when you watch things?
Always.
Sometimes.
There
Even in your language?
Yeah,
Yes.
there are too many shows, I think, with just, I don't want to say bad audio mixing, but sometimes the audio isn't as clear as it could be.
Actually,
so it's just
I have,
nice.
I have a piece of advice for you.
I don't always read it, but I just like
Yeah.
having it on.
There's
What's
an
up?
easy way to fix it.
Yeah?
So Netflix automatically sets your audio to what is it, Dolby 5.1 surround sound.
Shut up,
Okay.
you nerd.
So if you're not using that and it's set to that, it's gonna still play the audio as if you were using 5 speakers around you. So you need to go and change it. It's automatically set to that. I don't know why.
But I don't know.
It'll fix it a lot because they mix it differently for
but-
different things.
Like the thing for me is that I'm just really bad at catching stuff sometimes. So I need it either way. Even if the sound is super clear, sometimes I'm like, what? So it's always
I've
nice
been
to
just
have it.
using Korean subtitles just
Shit,
to
the
like help me
flex.
to learn.
The
For studying.
flex.
For studying.
Yeah,
For studying.
yeah,
Flex.
for sure.
Flex. You guys want to come and play my anime PC?
It's man
Actually,
versus PC.
And I had like anal piece. I was like, what?
I don't know. There's some movies sometimes that like would have. I don't remember if this was the case in Singapore or in China, but like sometimes you would get movies that have the Chinese subtitles and the English ones all together. It's fucking great. I love that.
I've seen people do that. You can do that with like if you download the actual like caption files for things. You can just sync it up to Netflix and it'll play, and you can have both subtitles. That's how me and my ex used to watch
There's
things.
a sort of plugin for I want to say it's Firefox, maybe has a plugin for it, where you can do the same thing essentially.
Oh yeah,
You
it's
just
like, yeah.
click it and then it now gives you
So
both
it doesn't have like
subtitles.
everything. So
Doesn't have everything.
it's kind of annoying.
Uh-huh.
Just Korean.
So yeah, I
subtitles.
think that's the only. We don't really have any other news for the week.
Nope.
No, nothing happened this week, I guess, except for the typhoon.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we can go ahead and jump into this week's topic.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, I forgot we were recording a podcast.
So this week we're gonna kind of revisit something that we've talked a little bit about before, but we're gonna kind of take a different approach to it. So in our second episode ever, we talked about like our cultural shocks and like
Well, that was a while ago,
that was
right?
a long time ago.
What episode are we on now?
A long later one.
Episode 19.
19. Yeah.
19. Wow, Jesus.
And
Whoa.
we're gonna kind of just talk about general differences this time around. We're basing this kind of off an article that we found that was about cultural differences between South Korea and America. But obviously, I want y'all's opinions from your countries as well. So, like, is it gonna
Can you say that again?
It sounded so good, right?
Yeah,
What did
it
I
was
say?
it was perfect.
Just
Say it
from
again.
y'all's countries?
Oh, y'all.
Y'all.
Oh my
Hey, y'all.
goodness. I just
No, it was actually kind of
no,
satisfying.
no, it's surprisingly satisfying.
Oh.
Okay.
Hunter, get
No,
into
no,
ASMR.
we're
Get
not
into
making fun.
ASMR.
It was like actually-
no,
it was
get
actually-
into ASMR. That was yeah.
So yeah, I want your opinions as well.
No. Y'all's opinion.
I want y'all's opinions as well. And yeah, so we'll kind of go through the list here and talk about a few of them. But just in general, like I think most of these are going to be kind of the same for Western countries versus Korea.
Western countries.
Yeah.
What is a Western?
What is a
country?
Western country?
Like I always say
What
say
a-
it too. Like the Western versus like Korea. But what is a Western country?
I think Western is usually considered like Europe and West, right?
But it's funny
Anything
because
Western
I like-
Europe.
we've got
West
East and
Europe.
West, but there's just no middle to be East and West of.
Also,
The
Europe
Middle
and then
East.
West.
Well, I think I mean it's mostly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So funny.
I mean, it's mostly based off like Europe and America versus China and Russia is usually kind of like when you're
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
No,
like
I
Eastern
think
stuff.
mostly it's from the influence that comes from Greeks and then Romans and then how that affects civilization. So if you know like how the Greek culture and Roman after spread out into everywhere in Europe and then how Europe brought that into America, then all of that is West.
Makes sense to
Except
me.
there is an argument that South America is not really West because of some differences there, but I would still say it is West anyways.
It needs to be closer to West than Eastern.
Yeah, because I mean, like the religion and everything that exists, and a lot of the culture that comes from Spain. So, but I think it's mostly based on that because you can see it even in our languages. A lot of our words come from either Greek or Roman, and so whereas anywhere that you would consider in the East don't really have that, except maybe some small things. But yeah, I think that's maybe the biggest thing.
That makes sense.
So, no, something different. Move on.
Move on. Okay, so the first one on the list, because they just had a list of like it was like a top 10 list, like
Yeah.
top 10
I
biggest.
just want to say
cultural
I
differences.
always love when we were like talking kind of shit, and then he just starts
Knowledge
explaining.
bomb.
And we're just sitting here, just
I'm just over here. I'm just
just
like
learning.
I just spitball an idea. I'm like, it's maybe because of this, and he's like, actually, it's because.
Actually,
I mean, I like history.
Yeah, no, I mean it's good that we have someone to
It's
like.
got a
kind
long
give
life
that.
of history, so I'm glad you're the one.
So the first one on this, and I think that we can all definitely attest to this, is the difference in like personal space in Korea, especially. Like, it might be hard for me to like really generalize this because I think I've never lived in a big city before. I lived in Seoul. So like when I lived in Tennessee, like I'm not getting on any subways or buses in Tennessee, so I don't really have that experience. But just I feel like there's just not a lot of regard for personal space in Korea.
so I don't think it like kind of just applies to Korea. I think it is just a big city thing. So like in New York, for example.
I was gonna say, I think it's a more specifically even beyond big city thing. It's a public transport thing.
Yeah.
You all want to go to work, go to school, go somewhere. There's limited space and availability, just physically speaking. So
Don't they have in Japan like
there's
those
no
people
space.
who like
no,
push you
yeah,
into the
yeah,
train?
they've got the people to push. In South Africa, our train doors don't close because if it closes, it means there's space for more people. So we keep the doors open.
Wow.
People stand in between. I am one of those people who have stood. Mom, I'm sorry, but you can't beat my ass now. But yeah, I've sort of stood in the middle, and you sort of hang half in, half out the train just to get more space.
I've
So,
done that on buses in Ecuador.
Yeah.
Like the little handles outside, like where the doors actually close. You just kind of have your feet on the edge and you're holding on to the little handles like this.
Yeah, so just stand there because, like I said, you want to go somewhere.
I mean, I've seen those trains in like India where people.
Oh, that's
yeah.
another
Get on top?
level though.
No, yeah, no.
That's different.
South Africa has similar ones like India
Oh, yeah?
too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so
Shit.
I'm whenever I see the Indian ones, I'm like, oh, thank God they don't choose South Africa. India take the heat. India take the heat because I was looking like that as well.
So then, other than transportation, where do you think this idea comes from?
For no regard of personal space.
Yeah.
It's
Because I think I've heard other people talk about this before, where they said that, like they felt like Korea didn't have that like respect of personal space. But most of the time when I hear it, it's usually in the context of like being in a club or like at a bar or something like that, where people just come up and touch you and grab you and stuff like that. Usually from girls. Grabbing.
the
of
other
course.
weird one that I think we've also all experienced and maybe have spoken about a couple of times, but especially older people just bounce you out the way, and I'm like, I don't get it. Walk around me. Why are you
those
pushing?
strong-ass
The strong
Ajumas.
Ajuma who's she's this small looking lady, and then she just fucking pushes you.
Literally
It's-
happened to me like 2
elbows
days
you.
ago.
It's-
She gives you one of these.
yeah, it's just like damn.
Elbows you.
Oh shit.
The train wasn't even
God.
that full. She just had to walk through me. That she wanted to go that way, and I was in her way.
Yeah, but they, it's not just limited to the trains. They push you
Yeah.
in the streets. Sometimes I'm walking. I'm like, oh, okay, who's behind me? So where it comes from, I have no idea.
So I think, like you said, I think it's like originates from the public transport kind of thing, and then like creeps into other aspects of people's life.
I think it might also be just like a high density population kind of issue. Whereas like there's not enough space, so like people kind of just adjust to that. Because I don't know, you've lived somewhere in Jeonju. Is it like that there?
Same thing.
Same thing?
No, Jeonju is not dense by any means. Same thing. People, Ajumas, Ajushis just
Oh,
push
shit,
you.
then
maybe
I-
it
I
is a
don't
But
know.
cultural thing.
there's
Yeah.
a sort of also a kind of different thing where, for me personally, I wasn't pushed that much in Jeonju. People would come up to me and touch my hair though. They touch my hair, they touch my body, they just sort of investigate what the fuck is this thing,
That happens in China too.
China that happens
To be
in China
fair,
as well. Yeah,
it
so-
looks very fluffy.
No, that's exactly right. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'll just be standing and then I'll just like feel this, and I'm
Also,
like,
you just you have that magnetic energy to you.
so I was just
So
like, what?
attractive.
But I've seen
yeah.
also like the old ladies like just touch girls' kind of backs and butts.
Jesus.
What?
I've had a man stroke me from my,
Finish the sentence quickly, please.
thigh up to my ass.
You had an old man stroke you.
Yes, and then he was like, oh, so nice and strong and beautiful, and like I wanted to shout at him naturally, but then I saw he had no legs because he's like a Korean like war vet, and I felt so
my
bad.
God.
And I was like, he just
I'll
wants,
give it. I'll
he
give
just
it
wants to
that one.
stand. He just wants to walk again. So I was just like, thank you.
Oh, I just connected it.
I was just like, okay.
He's like, oh, nice
yeah,
legs.
no, yeah. See, it's
But
just,
you got two good ones. You can spare one. Come on.
oh my god, I was
That
so
is the
ready to
most
shove, but
random
it's just, I was like, oh
Jesus,
my
crazy.
god, he's got no legs.
Amazing.
So where this culture comes from, I have no idea, but it's.
Do you think that's
a
true? Do you
phenomenon.
think there is like a not just with in terms of the big city, but do you think there is like a culture of like not having as much personal space, like your own personal bubble kind of thing in Korea with Koreans? Or do you think it's just
in general settings? I do think so, but I think in terms of, for example, one of the ways South Africans deal with personal space is we're a very loving country in the sense that I can meet you today and do this. Right? When we talk, we love touching, shoulder to shoulder, hand to hand, whatever. There's a lot of physical interaction, whereas I feel like in the Korean sense, there's actually very little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you are really, really good friends. But at the same time, you could just walk in the street and people have no qualms about pushing you
yeah.
or moving you.
A similar thing, like I probably talked about on a previous episode. Like when I met some people, and then in Europe we do like the cheek kiss a lot when we meet, even for the first time. But people were like, "The fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
So yeah, the phenomenon of personal space.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's a
if-
hard
if-
one.
Interesting.
But yeah, hearing is also like in Jinju, it's the same. So I have no idea where it comes from. Actually,
Same.
And I don't know if it's really personal space related, but like there also is like elevators. Like I feel like nobody like in America, the general courtesy is like when the elevator door opens, you wait for everyone to come out and then you go in. Same with like subways, like with like trains and stuff. People come out, but no, people just go in,
Yeah.
push their way in without waiting. So I don't know if that really counts as personal space, but yeah.
I mean, it
Alright.
is an invasion of personal space. Cause it's
I
like,
mean, in
dude,
my experience though, like usually people wait for you to come out.
Not the Ajumas that live in my building.
Not the ajumas. Like in general, people will,
Yeah.
but not the old ladies.
Yeah.
So it's that we keep.
They
we
ain't
keep
got a lot of
mentioning-
time left. They
Yeah, I
gotta
was gonna
go,
say
okay?
we keep mentioning it's Ajumas, Ajushis, right? They're old. they
Yeah, they're
gotta
old.
they
hey,
gotta
they live their life. They have to get the respect.
and
right?
because it's most notably them, I wonder if it's got to do with wartime, right? The hustle and bustle of living in a war-torn country. You have no time to fucking walk around someone. You never know when the bullets are coming. Push and go.
But it's also similar thing. Like if you are just walking in the street and you bump into someone, you don't turn around and say sorry.
Yeah.
In Korea,
Yeah.
you just keep on walking.
Speaking of kind of like the body interactions, the next one is body language. And so the way that they kind of talked about this was the two examples they gave were eye contact. So like, especially like a drinking culture in Korea, like and I know Brandon's really a stickler on this one, is that when you drink, you don't look at each other. But like in America or like I believe in South Africa,
Africa.
when you drink with someone, like you look at them when you drink. Like you have like that eye contact.
But I think that stems from more the kind of hierarchy. Like when you drink, like with your boss, you look away from it and like
Yeah.
you don't show the
Bottom.
bottom. So I think this kind of just stems from that.
yeah, it's like the culture difference
Yeah.
between.
Yeah, but I
between
mean,
the two.
like, it happens even with friends, but it is a year age gap. So many times Korean dudes just turn away from me, and I'm like, dude, what's 1 year between lover and friends? Look at me when we drink. Look at me.
I do prefer that too.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like even
Look
when
at me.
when I'm just like, I feel like when I just talk to Koreans a lot, I feel like there's just not a lot of eye contact in general, though.
I have had several conversations. I noticed it when I was speaking to one of my students, but then I started noticing it with other students, and then started noticing it in general life as well. Sometimes I can have a conversation without making eye contact once.
Yeah.
And
Really?
it's weird. Just try and pay attention the next time you stop and speak to a Korean. See how much eye contact there is. Very little.
I do sometimes just for like jokes. I just stare into people's eyes. And like the first one to look away kind of loses. You know?
Like on the subway.
No, I was gonna say on the subway, it's like when you make that eye contact, you have to maintain.
Yeah.
Because it's a case of who looked first, and then who's gonna look
And
last.
it's like obviously,
who's gonna
obviously you were looking. So
yeah. So it's-
double down.
Any thoughts on this one?
I think, I was thinking about a different part, which is like kind of how, a lot of it is elder people and younger people, but like how there's this kind of motion of respect when they're talking to them. So like, for example, you'll see it a lot when people are saying goodbye, like how they're always kind of buying and like looking at them and kind of like, oh yeah, goodbye, okay, have a good day.
This kind of little half bow.
Yeah.
You just kind of put your head.
And
between
especially
your
in Korea,
shoulders.
because that's like really, I've seen it so much, particularly in Korea. Like it's not like that in China, for example.
I think it's a similar thing in Japan as well. Like especially like if you have like a client meeting and like the client is leaving, it's like you walked into the elevator. You're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not even only just like in a business setting that I've seen that though. It's just like people meeting and then
When people leave.
yeah, when somebody's older, they kind of always do that a lot,
I've-
which I
I've-
kind of like in a sense.
No, I just say, see ya.
yeah, it's like I've seen people sort of do the thing where they say goodbye, but then walk away while still facing each other. And I'm just like, turn and leave.
For me, that's just kind of annoying.
It's sometimes it's too extreme in that sense, right?
Yeah, maybe.
It's a borderline unnecessary.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do think there's a cuteness about it. You know, seeing someone.
I mean,
off.
it's like it's respectful,
Yeah.
you know, like you're showing some respect to another person, and I like it.
Interesting that you were talking
fuck other
about
people.
bowing, because the other example they gave for the culture difference in body language was the shaking hands culture versus bowing culture in Korea. Yeah, Korea, if for those who don't know, they are bowers. They do. I feel like they're not as deep bowers though.
No, they're
I
not.
feel like when
I
you
don't
see it
know.
in like media and stuff like that, it's always like the whole like waist thing. But
Yeah.
I feel like most times it's usually just like from your shoulders,
head,
kind
yeah.
of
Yeah,
shoulders
that's
and head type.
And you
of
don't
thing.
even kind of put it. You just kind of shrug.
Yeah, it's like a shrug and.
That's not really a shrug.
Nah, I guess.
Tommy just wants to have some fun.
Have you ever? I'm trying to think. Like I'm trying to just think back the last time I shook someone's hand.
I shake hands a lot.
I am a handshake.
No, I
I
think-
even do it to
yeah.
Korean people.
I don't think I did.
Korean people shake my hand. They,
If someone
Yeah,
doesn't shake
they
my
think-
hand, I
they-
will.
no, they think
because it's our
because
culture
it's
they
our
do it to
culture.
us.
They're like, ooh, foreigner, Westerner, shake my hand. And I'm just like, okay.
Take it.
And for like, you can like learn a lot about a person by their handshake.
Yeah.
What can you learn about me right now? Oh,
I knew he was gonna do that.
I just got.
he was
I
gonna
went
do
rid
that.
for a handshake
know what
with
that
Dogger, and he tickled my palm instead. I don't know what that means.
No, it's not.
Tickled.
Oh,
Yeah, but you know the sort of buying culture. It's so ingrained into me. I feel like whenever I meet someone new, I always bow,
Yeah.
even if they're younger than me. And I've had people look at me like, "What?"
I feel
And-
like that's sorry.
No, go
Like how deep you bow is kind of like how much like because they're younger, you just
Yeah.
give like a little small one.
Yeah.
But if they're like older than you, you'll go deeper.
That's true too. But yeah, it's kind of ingrained for me too, because even when I went back to Ecuador last time, like I saw myself kind of bowing, saying goodbye to people, Like, or meeting someone, you're like, oh hi, nice
oh
to
hi,
meet
what's
you.
up? Yeah, little head
That's
nod.
similar when you go back to your country and you're like you pay and you give it with like two
Two
hands.
hands.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
People are like, what the fuck are you doing?
yeah.
That's a interesting one. Two hands is a thing in South Africa as well.
Oh, yeah?
Not as extreme in Korea. It's mostly just about accepting.
Really quick, explain it because we just kind of touched
Oh,
on
yeah.
it. But explain what
Okay,
you're
so
talking
the
about.
two hands is in Korea accepting something or giving something to someone usually older than you. You accept or give things with two hands.
Yeah.
And I believe it comes from when they used to wear hanbok, they'd have to pull it back,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
kinda.
why.
So you could either like use two hands
Yeah.
or like
Or just
hold your
hold your
other
arm.
hand while you.
Yeah. So that's the idea. And in South Africa, we do something similar. If you accept something from someone older than you, someone you want to show a lot of respect to, two hands.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's just like natural. Like whenever I go to like the convenience store or something, like I always have my card with two hands or the money with two hands and
I don't.
receiving.
You don't?
I don't. It's one thing that has never really caught on
But
to me.
the good thing now, usually you put your card yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but it used to you had to give them.
I'm just imagining Brian like flipping a coin to the guy. Like, keep the change.
I mean, yeah.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
But also, if you go to a convenience store, it's usually just some teenagers working.
Yeah,
so
true.
it's
True.
like, I don't have to. It's a teenager.
Actually, you know what used to piss me off in China was like, I'd give them the money and then like I'd have my hand there for the change. And then they just like put it on the counter. And it's like, bitch, my hand is here. Look, I extended it for a reason.
That's what annoyed me about Japan when I went there. They put it in the little thing.
Yeah.
Just
That's-
give me the
that's-
fucking money.
And it's harder to grab it from that
it's
shit.
like, you have to do one of those like.
Yeah, dude.
not working.
Fuck that.
That's for security purposes, so that they can see nobody has stolen anything. A lot of security cameras need to catch everything that's been handed. And so when you
makes
put it
sense.
into your hand, things can get obscured. And this way, if a customer ever comes back and starts, you gave me the wrong change. Here's the camera. We have the money.
I believe that in Japan, not in China. I don't think that's a thing in
In
China.
China, they're just being annoying.
Yeah, they're just like, because they won't even look at you. They just kind of like throw it there and like, yo, what the fuck? Yeah, no. Yeah, fuck that.
Really quick tangent about Japan. It was the funniest moment to me the other night when Brandon came with me to the English study group. There was this one of my friends brought his Japanese friend, and we were all introducing, and her name was Miyu. And Brandon's like going around remembering everyone's name. And he like turned to talk to her at one point. He was like, "So Yumi," and everyone was like, "Her name is not Yumi." Like, first of all, it's not Yumi, it's me, you. and then at that point, we were just laughing. Me and Brandon were laughing because it's like, it's not you, me, it's me, you.
So good. So
But I love that you just went for like the most like stereotypical Japanese name.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the League of Legends character.
No, I met so many people, I couldn't remember all of their names. So,
I'm also I'm terrible with names, so I get it.
but she was so cute. She took it well.
Yeah, she was really
she
nice about
accepted
it.
my nickname.
Thank God.
She gave us candy at the end of the night. What was
Yeah.
that? That was so weird.
And you know what?
It was weird.
That's
She's traveling here. She brought it with her.
that's
Was it
another
Japanese?
one.
No,
Yeah, it's like
I mean,
Japanese
I
candies
meant the
and stuff.
action of just.
Yeah, that's another one that I think
So
is a
random.
good one to talk about, like differences, because gifting here is very different from what I think gifting is like in the West.
How so?
Well, like for example, if I've seen a lot here, when a kid has a birthday, they bring gifts for their friends, whereas in the West, if it's your birthday, you get gifts from everyone else.
Hell no, I'm not giving other people gifts on my birthday.
Exactly, right?
no.
I've also seen, I don't know if this how much true this is, but I've heard also that like when it's your birthday, you take everyone to like for dinner or drinks and then you pay for the bill. Which is like, what?
Hell
it's my
no.
birthday. You
Yeah.
pay for me.
This was like the weirdest thing to me when I started my Korean language class. And I don't think this is just a Korean thing because I try to remember where she was from. I want to say she was from
Vietnam.
No, it wasn't Vietnam. It was.
She was a Viet man.
The gifting thing I know is also a Chinese thing.
I want to say it was maybe Singapore, but I could be wrong on this. I really don't remember what she was from. But
Anyway.
she was like, "Hey, it's my birthday. Let's all go out." And I was like, "Okay." So we all went out, and then I like asked somebody. I was like, who's gonna pay? And I'll send you my portion. And they were like, "No, she's paying." And I was like, "It's her birthday." And they were like, "No, that's how we do it from where I'm from. We just pay if it's your birthday. You're paying for your friends to come."
Stupid as hell.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
We are not changing our rules. On my birthday, I ain't paying.
Same.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I
how
do
we
not like that.
like. We went out for my birthday, and then we went for
Yeah.
Brian. Like you guys pay for me on my birthday, and then we pay for Brian on.
Yeah.
On these 3 separate occasions. That was a long ass birthday.
That
Yeah.
was a birthday.
I can't wait till October.
A birth
4 weekends
month.
in October. Let's go.
Sorry, I'm gonna be. In a
I'm
different
leaving the
country.
country in October. Actually, Lauren's leaving the country in October. So, Hunter, you can have as many birthdays as you want.
Because you're gonna come.
Yeah, to all of them.
When are you're leaving, right?
Yeah, I'm going to Bali in October.
Do you know what? Are you gonna be gone on the 18th?
Yes.
Fuck. That's so sad.
Just
Okay.
start having your birthday the first.
Just come to
Like
Bali.
this guy.
Okay. Just third wheel to Bali.
No, it'll be the 8th wheel.
oh,
I'm
wait,
meeting my
8?
I'm meeting my friends
Yeah.
there.
Oh, perfect. Sounds great. All right, let's move on. Let's go to. We kind of talked about. We talked about this a little bit before, but I think we could touch on it some more. Is like the family aspect.
But we
of
kind of
Korea.
didn't finish about the gift giving thing. Also, like
Okay.
Korean people will give a lot of small gifts also,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's also like in Asian culture, I guess. So every time you go somewhere, you kind of buy some people a
Right.
gift.
I was going to ask that. Do you do that?
No, it's fine.
I don't.
I do. I bring shit to my office. It's kind of like because of Korean culture, it's kind of expected.
Right.
If you go somewhere, you kind of bring snacks or something
Yeah, yeah.
to the office to give people. But it's kind of annoying. Like,
But would you do that if your coworkers were not Korean?
hell no.
Yeah.
I don't want to be your coworker.
That's interesting because I did that. And it wasn't because like I heard about it being a thing in Korea. It's just when I came to Korea the first time, I just bought a bunch of small little trinket things to bring back to
it's
my
nice.
people. Yeah.
But it's not something that we commonly do, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely
Because,
not expected.
Yeah.
I'll do it for my friends, of course.
Yeah.
But my
like
coworkers,
when we went to Hadong, I also bought tea for my coworkers too.
Yeah.
Which is like just because I also felt like it was expected.
I bought tea for Ricky, and then I forgot to give it to Ricky. It's still in my office.
Ricky, come back.
Ricky, come back.
He's coming. He's coming.
I don't know. I thought it was just universal that if you go to another, like for example, if you go to another country and you come back, I've always bought stuff to my people at work.
Yeah.
Like when I came to Korea the first time and went back, I brought like a whole bunch of all the fucking weird Korean candy and stuff. And people played like games with it because nobody wanted to eat all the stuff.
Maybe I just suck.
Yeah, I mean,
Reconsider your life values, dogger.
I mean, I would take stuff to my family, but
Yeah, as I said, like,
or maybe really
I bring it
good
to my
friends.
family and like close friends. But I mean, I guess how close are you to your coworkers? I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
But in Korea, it's like a generic, like general thing.
Yeah, it's like everyone who's in that office. Because I remember,
Sometimes there's a lot of shit you gotta bring.
yeah, I remember actually even in another school. This happened actually in China though. When somebody would also go on a trip, they would bring something for everyone, even though like they're not even in the same office. We don't really talk or anything. It's for everyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
That's a bit
and people like
extreme, I
have to
think.
go on their trip and they kind of have to go out of their way to find something to buy for their coworkers.
Right.
It's,
Yeah, duty free at the end of the trip.
I mean, that's what I do.
Never thought about my coworkers once. Right at the end, oh shit.
Yeah.
that's when I bought your socks.
I know.
Right at the end when I was leaving.
And James bought those mugs for us.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
afterthought. But
Well, no, he got them at. He said he got them at Niagara
Niagara
Falls.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay. We were pre-thought, I guess.
The interesting gift warming culture for me in Korea is housewarming. Do you know what the most
Oh.
common gift is for a housewarming party?
I
What?
do, but I'll let you say it.
A box of tissues.
Like toilet paper, right?
Toilet paper, tissues, yeah.
Like
Either one of the
like
two.
box,
Yeah.
like,
Laundry detergent also.
Oh
a big
yeah.
one as well.
It's
I
so
like it.
weird.
please don't give me laundry
It's so
detergent.
weird. It's so weird.
No, because I like laundry detergent is it's a like personal thing between people,
Yeah.
like what you like.
Yeah.
Please don't
I
give
mean,
that.
so is toilet paper.
Tupla
I feel
only,
like,
baby.
yeah.
Tupla up.
Icelandic toilet paper, Andrex. I
But
missed
yeah,
it.
because
I-
even after I had been living in a place for a long time, just inviting my one Korean friend, the first time he came to my place, he came with a giant ass box of tissues. I was like, what? Okay, thank you.
I've
I
heard
guess.
also
That is, I would say that is a good gift, like tissues. Everyone
Yeah.
can use tissues.
I mean, but also, so I've heard that, because another gift that is very common, like on some big festivities, is when your boss gives you like those boxes with body wash and shampoo, conditioner, all that stuff. But I've heard that that kind of gift is dying out because like
Thank
people
God.
don't really use them. So it's like you give me this body wash, but I use the body wash I like. So then
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
kind of ends up staying there and nobody uses it, which is why people now give other kinds of gifts. And I think money is becoming a more common one nowadays.
Thank God.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like last year, my office just gave us during Corona.
Yeah.
They just gave us money. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like the most common gift you get from your company. You know what that is, right?
That spam box.
Spam
Spam
box.
box, yeah.
Spam.
That's my favorite gift.
I like it.
love
I
No,
love it.
I love it.
I love spam.
And I also
So-
love it when people are like on group chats being like, "Oh, I don't want this spam. Who wants
Who
it?"
wins it? No, me. Always.
Thank you.
Send,
I did
send.
that when I got mine. I
And
just gave it away.
People also sort of started selling it on Dungan, just at free prices as well.
what I should have
It's,
done, honestly.
1,001. Come get your spam box.
Just come pick it up.
I'll pay you to take it off my hands.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, spam used to be a commodity during the war times in Korea, I guess. So it became a very popular thing to give spam as like a gift. So why still today that happens, I don't know. But I do like it.
Traditional.
Traditional, yeah, tradition.
it's
But I do like it.
traditional.
I like give me more.
Also, they've incorporated it to their cuisine very well.
Yeah.
Which is why I think, because like, I love. There's these little boxes that you can get at the convenience store that are kimchi fried rice with spam,
Oh yeah. I've seen
and it's
those.
just like put it in the microwave for a little bit, buy some extra cheese, put it on top. Fuck yeah.
Wait,
So
where did
good.
you get these? Because I want that. I've never seen these before.
They're always in the freezer in any convenience store.
Okay.
And they're like the brand of the box is Spam. They're made by Spam.
Mm.
It's just kimchi fried rice with Spam in it, and you buy those little bags that they sell for like 1,001 of just shredded cheese, kind of plastic cheese to be honest.
Yeah.
But fuck it, just put it in there. It's delicious.
Okay, I'll try it next time.
Yeah, so good.
It's like I get these gifts. I've never bought oil in Korea ever.
Yeah, we
That's
talked about
cooking
cooking
oil.
oil. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never bought it.
I like the fruit boxes. Love that. Because, like, fruit is expensive.
Yeah.
They give you a box of, like, fucking pears and apples, and it's just, like, fruit every day, baby.
Is that the first thing you do when you go back to your country?
A
Eat
little
fruit?
bit, yeah.
Buy inexpensive fruit?
Yeah, no, that's exactly.
A little
Throwback,
bit, yeah.
throwback to our
Throwback
last
show.
episode.
To those stupid ass questions from the last
I know
episode.
Brian didn't listen to the episode, so he doesn't get the reference.
Oh,
but
okay. No.
But yeah.
The last one that I think we should touch on that I think is pretty interesting is eating habits. I think we talked about this a little bit before, but it'd be nice to go back into it. Talking about how, like, the difference in how people eat together in Korea. Just the whole process of dinner with people in Korea is so different than America, at least. I don't know about your countries, but so, like, in America, you go out, you order your whatever you want, and at the end, everyone's just like, I had this. They just give you each your individual bill. But in Korea, like, if I go out with my Korean friends, like, usually it's like, okay, what do we want to eat? And it's like, we're going to order one thing for this side of the table, one thing for this side of the table, and maybe one thing for the middle. And at the end, one person's going to pay, and we'll all just send them money later or something like that. That's kind of the way we do it now. And I know, like, it's a little bit different in, like, business groups also. Like, usually, like, the boss will pay or something like that. Like, but that's kind of the theme, is that just one person will pay for it, and whether you figure that out later or not. But it kind of, like, makes it seem like it's more of like a community eating situation rather than just I'm eating my stuff. It's pretty different. What about where you're from?
Well, I mean, I think, for us, it's also different. We don't do, like, shared dishes. But, yeah, you see that a lot here, where a lot of the dishes they sell are, like, actually really big ones, like a big pot of something. And I actually quite like it.
I do like it in terms of, like, if you're going out with people, because it kind of helps stimulate conversations.
Right.
Like I said, when you're eating from the same pot, or you're kind of, because if you have your just own individual plate, you're kind of just focusing on your own meal. But if you have, like, the together one, it's like you can.
Yeah, it actually feels like you're sharing
Yeah.
a meal.
Yeah, exactly.
I went with some Korean friends. They invited me to go to Outback Steakhouse a few weeks ago, and I went. And in my mind, I'm going to a steakhouse. I'm like, oh, great. I can't wait to get the steak that I want. And we got there, and they were like, okay, we should order this platter for the table. And I was like, I don't want a platter. I want my steak and French fries and wine. Like, I'm not eating off the same, like, rib platter as you guys. I want my own plate.
Yeah, I always say, like, if I'm going to a steakhouse, I just want to go eat my steak.
But that's what they did. They Outback has, like, the first 3 pages are all just, like, 200,000 platter meals for, like, 2 to 3 people that you eat from, and that's what they wanted to do. And I was just like, I love you guys, but I'm gonna order my own steak. And I just got my own steak and ate it all by myself.
Oh my god,
And
the
then he never
American
got
Indian
invited again.
the American Indian just.
I mean, if everyone wanted to do that one, I would
Unchained.
probably do that. But I get it.
I told him,
Yeah,
I was like,
I
I came here for a steak. I'm getting a steak.
Know what you want? Go get what you want, baby.
I'd get the platter, but I'd also still, like, order my own little, what's it called, baked potato. I need those. Need them.
Damn, now I want a baked potato.
Yeah, me too. Fuck. Should have
I'm
brought it.
a mashed
Got
potato
garlic
stan.
butter.
Yes.
Yeah, I
I'm
like
a mashed potatoes.
Mashed
stan.
potatoes and gravy.
Oh,
I mean, yes,
I mean,
also,
that too,
but
of course. But
no, you gotta choose one.
no,
You have to.
I'm not choosing.
That's how it works. That's how the game works.
No,
You can either bake it or you can mash it.
I can. No, fuck it.
there's too many ways to incorporate a potato.
So what about your countries?
Potatoes. Fuck.
South Africa is very similar in the Western sense. You know, in most restaurants you go, you order your own thing. But eating at home, there's a lot of. I mean, we usually either depends on what the food is. I guess. Fuck, I don't even know how to English right now. But for example, like sometimes we do it the Western style where you just dish your plate and that's it. Other times, all the food is on the table. And, you know, there's a lot of passing around. So the way, I guess, Americans do that...
At home or in a
At home.
Yeah, at home.
So the way the, Americans do Thanksgiving is like just a normal thing for South Africans.
It's also in Iceland. We just put the thing on the table and then we just...
The restaurants, mostly it's order your own thing, but people almost always share things like starters.
Yeah.
Starters are very seldomly eaten by one person unless you're ordering a weird starter that no one else wants to share with you.
Some appetizers. Yeah, we do the same. I didn't think about that. Yeah, usually when you get appetizers, it's always like a shared thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really have that same like meaning, I think.
Yeah, no, not the same meaning as sharing the main meal.
Yeah.
Do you want know what I want to eat? Do you know those like onions where they like deep fry the onions?
Oh,
yeah.
blooming onion.
Blooming onion.
Baby,
Damn, I want to eat that right
sign
now.
me up.
So random.
So I kept thinking about the potato, and I was like, damn, I want to eat. Just completely distracted.
What about when it comes to like paying the bill?
When it comes to paying the bill, my dad pays. Thanks, Dad.
But what if you're out with friends?
Nice.
If you're out with friends, we
Must be
usually,
nice.
Yeah, we usually do the sort of American style of
Yeah.
each one says what they,
Had.
paid. But I also had a lot of Asian friends in South Africa, and when I was with my Asian friends, one person would pay, and we would pay them back. Usually, my Korean friend actually, he'd pay, and then we'd all send him money.
I kind of do like that because like that kind of process. Everyone's like, I had this.
Yeah.
There's always like a glass of wine. That's like left.
yeah, some weird thing. And,
And
not
the
just
last
that,
guy just has to pay it. It's
But
like,
it also it takes so long.
Yeah.
Like there's no respect for the poor cashier. Like shit, they've it's a busy night. You 10 people in your group. Fuck, they don't wanna
Yeah.
put 10
Yeah.
split a whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's like figure it out before you go
Yeah.
to the cashier.
And like I will say like the reason I think it doesn't happen a lot where people just pay for their own stuff is because they do that kind of group ordering where it's like, okay, how am I supposed to know like I ate a tenth of the budae, so that's 1,000. Well, like there's no way to figure that out. So like most of the time, it's even with drinking too, which is part of the reason that I like drinking with Koreans is because no matter how much anyone drinks, pretty much everyone pays the same.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I mean,
So like if you don't drink a lot,
unlucky.
unlucky. Yeah, should have drank more because they're gonna split the bill and they're gonna say we ordered $100 worth of soju and there's 10 of
Jesus.
us, so you owe $10 of soju. If you only drank $5 of soju, sucks for you. But if you drank $15 of soju,
Hell yeah, baby. We pay
great
it
for
back.
you. Yeah.
that's why I like when you go to those places who have those half liter beers.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
just count how many beers you got.
Yeah. But I feel like even when I do that, like Koreans, they don't.
Oh, they
don't
still
really
just
care.
everyone just pays. The
Yeah,
same.
they just do the pay the same.
The other thing that sort of, and Korea's then made the whole system around it. I don't know about your countries, but it's incredibly difficult in South Africa to send money, even with banking apps. It's just an annoyance. But in Korea, you just go to Kakao, ping boom.
well, you don't.
Same for Iceland. too.
I don't because I can't anymore.
Yeah, for those who don't know, South Africans can't use Kakao Pay.
Kakao Pay, yeah,
In
because
Korea.
we
It's
are
the money transfer
we are
app.
Which is the
grey-listed.
most convenient way to send people.
I know, it's so awkward. I hate it. Especially, like, you guys know this story, right? I've spoken about it. But when I meet someone new, they're always like, why not? It's so
Why?
easy. And I'm like, just please understand.
Please understand my unique
Please
situation.
understand.
Yeah, if I
my-
ever meet someone who told me like they don't have Kakao Pay, I would just be like, "You're lying." It's
I don't
the-
have Kakao Pay.
See, I
Wait, doesn't it,
makes
just
me so
come with
mad.
your cacao?
yeah, it does. You just have to set it up. It takes 2 seconds, but he just has to set it
but
up.
it takes 2 seconds if you can read Korean.
Yeah.
Bryant also only discovered bank transfers this year as well.
No, I
On the mobile app.
Actually,
On the
I
mobile
remember
app.
that.
He's only
He used to always
discovered
give
it,
me
yeah.
cash.
To be
for
fair,
Always
everything.
cash. This man was
To
always
be
cash.
fair, Korean bank apps are way more complicated than they need to be.
Yeah.
There's so many
Also,
like features no one uses.
and also I can't use my Korean bank app right now. I mean the phone bank app.
Because you didn't go set it up on your new phone.
No, it's because I did try to set it up in my new phone, but then, it's a long story. There is a number that I needed to insert that I don't have anymore. And so I thought it was a
one of those
specific number.
cards?
Yeah. I thought it was a specific number, but it wasn't. So then I tried it 3 times. It blocked it. So now I have to go to the bank to unblock it. But here's the kicker. Banks only open at times that people are at work.
Yeah.
This
So-
is universal.
Yeah.
That is a universal truth.
No, it's not.
No, in America too.
No.
South
Banks
Africa
close at
as well.
5.
So in
South Africa
America-
as well.
But do they close on both weekends?
Yes.
No, they don't close on Saturdays. But
Yeah,
they're
they
only
don't close on
they're only open till like 2 or 3 on
Yes.
Saturdays.
Yeah.
Still.
But
you can
that's a
still
good
go.
thing
Okay.
because then you can go.
Yeah.
But here it's like, well, you're just fucked. You can't go at any time unless you take time off from work.
Good during
At
your
which
lunch
time,
break.
at which point, like you're losing money to go to the bank.
And if you go at lunchtime, it's like everyone's there at that
yeah,
time.
no, you
Yeah.
can't do shit at lunchtime.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Banks
So,
are open when I'm.
so that shit's been
Not
locked
at
for
work.
the
Same.
last 2 months.
I'm just still using the same account that I used since I was a exchange student. I
Yeah.
still have the same account.
Me too. Uri Unheng.
I do
Okay, I
too,
got-
but
I
I
got
just
2.
can't use the phone app right now.
I've got 2 thanks.
I told my girlfriend and other people that you use NH. I was like, oh, he definitely lived in the countryside.
Yeah.
You know what's the funny thing? Right next to my work, there is that bank.
That's how I can tell you live in the countryside. You don't live in
When I
Solomon.
That's why
transfer,
we don't
to you, it's like from that one, and then the fee for it is like almost nothing.
It's the farmers. The farmers use this one.
It
It's
is.
the agricultural.
Yeah, it's like an
bank.
agriculture.
Yeah.
So if you go to like a small town in Korea, they always have like an NH bank and an NH mark.
The NH Mart everywhere. That used to be my favorite mart. NH.
We saw that in Hadong.
Yeah, in Hadong, yeah.
So that's
We
when
did?
you know you're in a small Korean town.
NH Mart, NH Bank, NH gas. Get some petrol in your car. No, fucking everything. NH is, and you can get if you want to buy a tractor, you can get an NH tractor.
So I was like, I was sending money to
heavy.
NH. The fuck, are you a farmer?
Yeah, I think you're the only person I've ever seen that has NH.
No, like even when I moved to Seoul and my work, asked me for my bank details, my boss was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
Please go make a different." They told me, "Please go make a different account."
But it's
For
fine,
me
it
too,
works.
though. Like I've also met people where they're like, "Why the fuck do you use IBK?"
Yeah, actually, like, why the fuck
No,
do you
yeah.
use IBK?
No,
It's
his
like
is worse than
Industrial
mine.
Bank of Korea.
The only time I see IBK is for like the ajumas or ajushis with
Yeah.
their pochas and stuff. They got the IBK.
Oh yeah.
You gotta transfer their money after eating your
Yeah, I
sundae.
don't know. It's weird, but like my boss helped me set it up in my last.
So it was just like convenience because the bank was closed.
No, it was because I think he used that bank, like
Uh-huh.
because of his school and everything. So he just set it up there.
So many banks in Korea. Why the fuck?
I do have a limited Uri Bank one, but I never use it. Yeah.
How many banks are there in Iceland? Like big banks.
Like customer-facing banks.
Yeah.
3,
3?
4, 4 maybe
What about the states?
I have no idea.
million.
Yeah, there's a lot.
All of
There's a
them.
lot. I mean, there's the popular ones. There's maybe like 8, but there's so many.
Yeah.
There's like the thing in America too is there's a lot of local banks.
Mm.
So it's not nationwide. It's just like in your city, and like there's like maybe 10 of them around the area you live in, and that's it. They're not in any other cities. Because I know my dad had one like that. And completely off topic, I just want to say, Brandon, I love your shirt today.
I do
Man.
too. I was looking at it before too.
So was I.
I bought it yesterday. I was just walking between after I finished work and
ass shirt.
going to a language exchange party. I was like, what do I do with my time? I was just milling around, walking in and out of different stores. And then I walked into a store and I was just looking, I was like, ooh, look at that orange. And then I took it, I was like, ooh, look at the cool fucking sharks. Fuck yeah.
For
So
audio,
I just
listeners,
took it.
it's like a Hawaiian shirt, but it's an orange Hawaiian shirt, but instead of the flowers, it's just surfing sharks.
So cool.
And it says lifeguard. He has a shirt that says lifeguard too.
Yeah. So I just thought it was so cool. I was like, I'm buying this.
I like it.
And then I used my American card. So Lauren got the notification. She was like, ooh, so you bought something.
How much was it?
I actually have no idea.
Oh, what a flex. Doesn't even look at the
I
price
actually
tag.
have no idea.
You've never done that?
Bought something without looking at the price tag?
No, I thought it was
I'm
so
poor.
cool. So I was like,
I
thought it
always
was so
look at the
cool.
price tag.
Put it on credit. That's what I did. Just leave it
Sometimes
on
I just do it like this.
Just closing your eyes.
I don't want to know.
Yeah. All right. Any final words? Any last kind of culture differences that you want to tell our viewers about that you think are interesting?
I think the biggest one, like for South America at least, or Ecuadorians at least, is punctuality. Is the biggest, hugest one.
That was on the list also.
And I
Because
think, yeah.
because here, like, you say a time and you show up at least 5-15 minutes earlier, whereas like in Ecuador you say a time and it's like, yeah, I'll be there 30 minutes later.
Oh.
like, a lot of the
I was
times-
thinking different.
I
Like,
was
opposite,
too. I was thinking it's
because Koreans
opposite.
are always fucking late.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I thought they were quite punctual
No,
here.
the culture is Bali Bali,
Yeah.
but they don't
But
make it on time.
Oh.
Really.
arriving
for me,
second
it's
is not
always
Bali
been-
Bali.
For me, it's always been like punctual shit. I mean, especially like when it comes to work and shit, like it has to be punctual. But then, like, for example, in Ecuador, when people make a party and they're like, oh, we're going to meet at 8 o'clock, or the party starts at 8 o'clock in this place, I'm showing up at 11. Like, I'm not showing up at 8.
Okay, Koreans are
happens in
not that
Korea.
bad.
I would say it's not that bad.
It's, in
but-
Korea, for me, it's always 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, no,
Every
no,
time.
but I mean, like, party thing.
If
Like
it's a
if
party,
the party starts at 8, I'm not showing up
Not
at
showing
8.
up at 8.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's just
But
not,
people will show up at like 8:30, 8:45. Like people will show up a little bit.
Yeah, no,
after.
in Ecuador it's like I'm showing up at 11.
I didn't know Ecuadorians work on African time.
I heard that.
No, that's
I think I've heard
the
you say
phenomenon.
that
You know,
before, right?
African time is a phenomenon across
That-
from north to south.
But that's why like people
It's-
say we're starting at 8 because nobody's going to show up at 8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, actually it starts around 9:10.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just what I've noticed is it's never like too late. It's always like 10 minutes. It's kind of annoying, but it's not that annoying that you're gonna say something. It's like just come early. Just come on the time we agreed.
One,
No,
one of
I've
my
always had it where it's like people are actually punctual.
one of my students works. Funnily enough, she works for a company that often sends it to South Africa a lot. So that's why she chose me as a teacher. She's like, oh, cool, you know, South African and Korean. I'm a Korean who goes to South Africa. Let's talk. And she joked about our ideas on punctuality and time, where Korea's Bali Bali, and whatever the opposite word of that is South Africa. Oh shit! No,
Ecuador
she was like, when it comes to contracts and things, if they want to change something or do something, all their American clients complain and say no, stick to the contract. But she was like, she can call someone, and if they're South African, they'll just be like, oh yeah, whatever. Just they're so laid back, reserved. Oh, you want to push the meeting back? Yeah, that's fine, no problem.
So for those who don't know, Bali Bali means fast.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
fast. So
Sounds like Ecuador, actually. It's like we started making the first train line like 10 years ago. And then they're like, yeah, this year we're opening it at this date. And it's like, I think they just opened it this year or last year.
there's a bridge in South Africa in the middle of our city, like the CBD, that has been unfinished for like 20 years. It's just, if you go there, it's like a landmark now. I don't think they're ever going to finish it.
This is a meme.
But
at
it's
this
just,
point.
yeah, it's just a meme at this
We
point.
have a building like that in this like in Quito, and it's I don't know what happened to it, but like it's kind of a tall building. Like it must have about maybe 15 floors or something. I mean that's tall for Ecuador standards because earthquakes they're not allowed to be too tall. But yeah, it's just like half of it is just open. Like it doesn't have walls or anything. It's just the structure, and I think that the firefighters just use it nowadays to do like little
drills?
drills
Drills
there.
and three.
Yeah, it's just an abandoned building, and they just show up sometimes to do drills there.
Yeah. We had a similar building in Florida too, where it's right off the highway. So it's just giant building, and it's just not finished. And it hasn't. Like I remember when I was in middle school, we'd drive past it, and it was just like it had not been finished for like 10 years, and it still hasn't been finished today. And it's just like this huge meme in Orlando, Florida, where it's just like everyone knows this building, like no one knows what it's for, no one knows what's going on there. Like it's
It's
just there.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what happened, why it was built, who built
Can
it.
it be called an abandoned building if it hasn't even been finished?
I guess.
Yeah,
not.
abandoned by the builders. The construction company abandoned. But it's like, that's kind of the opposite, because it's sort of joke of how quickly Korea just puts up buildings. It's like the amount of apartments that go up. And I'm just like, for who? People can't afford to move in.
Yeah, but who's buying this?
Who's buying this,
It's got nothing on China, though.
No,
Shit.
Well, back to punctuality. I know that we're pretty punctual,
yes.
and that's why we're ending this episode right on time.
Oh, hey, look at us.
Shit.
So, everyone, thank you for listening. This was episode 19, episode 20 almost. We're almost
Perfect
there.
timing. The camera just died.
Oh yeah, perfect timing. So we'll be back next week. Thanks for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, and
Flick the bell.
on YouTube, and leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Music.
We'll read it on
Yeah.
the next episode.
I need to check. I haven't checked in a while to see if there were any.
Ooh.
Yeah, I should check. So if you left one and you haven't read it yet, it's
Just
because I'm
imagine
lazy
you go
and I
there
haven't
and there's
checked.
like 10,000 reviews. Oh my god.
Definitely 10,000 reviews.
10,000.
Most popular podcast
10,000.
in Mia.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.